Okay, we're going to try this one more time. I think I have this. So, like I said before, we're going to talk a little sports here. I got a couple questions from my last attempt at this. From Doodoo Brown said, asked who I think's going to win tonight. I think it's a good fight tonight for a while, but I think the difference is the power of Deontay Wilder. He has shown, obviously, in his 40 fights that he will knock out anybody in the heavyweight division. And Tyson Fury, I think, is going to box him well for a while, and then he'll win some rounds. But then I think in the mid to late rounds, I'm looking round 8, round 9. Tyson Fury will probably get caught with something, and I think that could be it for him. I would like to see Fury win, but I believe it's going to be Deontay Wilder. It's my main man, John Ray Goes. John, you got a question about the fight tonight? Also, John's actually nephew, Manny, sent me a question in my last attempt at this. He asked who I think will win the Errol Spence-Mikey Garcia fight March 16th in Dallas. I think we got Errol Spence's his power is his size and strength and power wins out on March the 16th. Like we said, we got some good college football games going on today between we got Georgia and Alabama is the big game tonight. Watching Oklahoma and Texas, I believe it's 14-13 now. The Longhorns trying to beat Oklahoma for the second time this year and ruin their playoff dreams. Just looking to see if we got any questions coming. Nothing yet. So got some people in the queue. My wife, hello, out there. I see you're out there watching. So like I said, it's a big sports day. I want to know what you guys think of the fight on tonight from Staples Center in Los Angeles between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. I keep looking because I got the questions over here, and we're just trying to see what's talk a little sports today. The NBA season's in full swing. My Philadelphia 76ers doing well. I believe they're 16-8. They big 30-point win last night. My main man, Jason Gonzalez, Jay Gon from New York. You in LA, Jay Gon? John Ray goes, what fight am I looking forward to on the undercard? I actually have an interest in two of the fights. As a lot of people know, I work for King's Promotions and Marshall Kaufman. His son, Travis Kaufman, it's taking on Luis Ortiz. That's a big opportunity for Travis. Travis was a major amateur star. He's had a lot of injury problems, some stops and starts in his career. He's got a lot of ability. He just hasn't gotten that opportunity. And tonight against Luis Ortiz, he's got a golden opportunity to really make a name for himself in the heavyweight division. And the opening bout's very interesting. You got a kid named Joe Joyce, who was a silver medalist at the last Olympics. He's about 6-0 now, stepping up to fight Joe Hanks. Hanks is a fighter who signed with King's Promotions as well. So it's a big night for Marshall Kaufman, as he's got a couple of his big heavyweights in the fray tonight. Got some Jason Gonzalez. He's going to go to Spence Garcia. Jay Gon, who I usually see out. He's from New York, so I'm sure I'll see him over the next couple weekends at Madison Square Garden for the Vasyl Lomachenko fight against Jose Pedraza, and then the following week with Canelo Alvarez against Rocky Fielding. But he's going to be in Texas. I see Juan Marshall, who I saw yesterday at the weigh-in. I'll see him tonight at the Entertainment and Sports Arena in downtown Washington, D.C., where Tricky Promotions DC Fight Night. We've got a 8-bout card tonight. It's going to be on their Facebook page starting at 7:30. Then I believe on their app and their website for I think $4.99 or something like that. There's also another fight card on Fight Night Live featuring Roy Jones Jr. Promotions. So they got a lot of boxing out there tonight. Robbie Patterson, I fancy Fury, probably by decision, but one of the most overlooked scenarios is Fury by stoppage. I think his strongest hand, his left, might cause Wilder some problems. You know what? It's possible. I mean, Tyson Fury weighed in at 257 pounds yesterday, 256. He's a big man, and a big man punching at another man, always a chance for something like that to happen. So you never know with that. Well, my scenario with Fury getting a stoppage would be maybe his movement tires Wilder out. He, peppers him. He wins rounds, lands punches, and maybe kind of breaks him down. As I'm staring up on the screen, Kyler Murray from Oklahoma completing a huge pass against Texas with under a minute to go in the first half, 14-13, the Longhorns. It's possible. It is possible. John Ray goes and taking a scene from TMZ. Katie Holmes, good genes or good docs? I want to say good docs. What do you think, John? I don't know, but like I said, this is it's gonna be a great night. John Dioria, where's all the boxing tonight? Well, there's quite a bit of boxing tonight. Obviously, there's the big card at Staples Center live on pay-per-view, and even before that on Showtime from Quebec, Canada, you got the WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, Adonis Stevenson taking on Alexander Gvozdyk, and I like Gvozdyk a lot. I think he wins the fight against Stevenson. So we're gonna have a little change, in my opinion. We just had Alvarez knock out Sergey Kovalev, and if Gvozdyk can win tonight, we got a big changing of the guard, with Dimitri Bivol in the light heavyweight division. Alvino Valles, Gilbert Venegas versus Kendall Castaneda will be the fight of the night. That fight's gonna be, like I said, on Fight Night Live. Right here on Facebook. So, like I said, you can be watching a stream of that, maybe a stream of the DC Fight Night, the pay-per-view. So if you're a boxing buff, tonight is night. Get your favorite adult beverage, maybe some popcorn, order a pizza, invite some friends over, and you got a full night out there. I see my main man from Philly, Luis Cortez, is on the line. Louis, you got anything for us tonight? Any predictions of any of the fights tonight? Lewis is a scribe in Philadelphia. He covers the scene out there for UCN Live and a couple other publications. No, I'm not in LA. I'm actually in Washington, D.C., Lewis. I'm working a fight tonight with a main event is Tori Nelson taking on Suna Turnanen for the UBF Middleweight Championship of the World, part of my PR responsibilities. Butterbean Ash, here's a good one. Wilder has not caught anyone. Another Alabama guy, Eric Butterbean Ash, and speaking of pay-per-view boxing, made his name on a lot of the great Oscar De La Hoya undercards. Good to have Butterbean in the queue here today asking some questions. Louis Cortez likes Wilder by rounds between 8 and 10. I think that's the growing, in terms of a lot of the predictions, that's what I'm seeing. But you know what? The odds are strikingly slim. I saw Wilder about -160 yesterday. So he's not really a big favorite in this fight. I don't know if it's a lot of the late British money coming in or whatever, but, there's a lot of money being put on Tyson Fury for this fight. Juan Marshall says, are there still tickets available? Yes, there are. $45, I believe, is the low end to get in for tonight's fights in D.C. Jason Gonzalez, did you think fighting style Fury and the coaching style of Roach would be a good fit for each other? Well, it all depends on what's going on with Freddie Roach in the corner. Fury's head trainer for this whole camp has been a kid who just celebrated, and I say kid, he's 26 years old, named Ben Davidson, and I'm not holding his age against him. For all we know, he could be the next Freddie Roach. He just hasn't gotten that opportunity yet, but this is his first big fight opportunity as being the lead in the corner. I think Freddie Roach is just going to be there to help out a little bit, and you never know. I mean, I could see a scenario where you see round 5 and 6, where you see Freddie jumping in right in the middle of the fray there, and he may take over the corner. I could definitely see that happening, and young Davidson, like I said, he could be a great trainer, and tonight he'll get an opportunity to stamp his name as being one of the great young trainers if somehow he can steer Tyson Fury to victory tonight. Got Mark DeLuca, good fighter. Z Chorus, another fighter out of the Philippines. So we got some good fighters. Saw Butterbean in there. Just waiting on some questions. Any football questions, basketball questions? Oklahoma looks like they're coming in to try to score the last 20 seconds of the half. Kyler Murray just throws a touchdown pass as we speak with 19 seconds to go in the half. So it looks like Oklahoma is going to take the lead as we head into halftime. This is the first of the 3 big games that are going to basically decide who's going to be in the college football Final Four between, looks like Notre Dame's already in. You got Alabama playing Georgia tonight. You got Texas and Oklahoma now, and Ohio State and Northwestern. Luis Cortez, Waters had trouble with his upper body movement until Fury gasses due to poor lifestyle. Wilder should land body shots early, and he stops him done 1 or 2 points. Klitschko was conventional, and Fury was able to tame him. Jim Kurtz in the thing, 74-8. That means he believes the Philadelphia 76ers will win their next 58 straight games. So they would end the year 65-1 in their last 66. That'd be unprecedented. 76ers looked terrific last night with a big 25-point victory over the Washington Wizards. I was hoping to watch the game, me being in D.C. now, but they didn't have the home team sports or the Sportsnet on the cable system here in this hotel. I said the name before. I'm not going to say it again. Butterbean Ash, have a great day. You too, Butterbean. We wish you luck. Gave us some great memories, some crushing knockouts in your day. So, I guess a big day for you, Butterbean. You got your Alabama guys going. You got the Crimson Tide going tonight. You got Deontay Wilder. So a big night for your state, Butterbean Edge. Any other questions we got going on, Jim? You got anything more for me? Jamal Davis joining us. Jamal, terrific fighter from Philadelphia. Has been fighting with Titans Promotions the last little bit. Just won a big fight a couple weeks ago. The man they call Tyson around Philadelphia. You got any questions? What do you think of the fight tonight, Jamal? Should be, like I said, a good night of boxing. Yo, OG, I've known Jamal probably since I started boxing. Started in the boxing business around 2002. And you've seen him, plying his trade and growing as a fighter. And he's a guy who's taken on all comers. Eric. Great fighters from Philadelphia. What do you think of the fight tonight, Eric? Luis Cortez, UNC's pretty much so weighing with your good buddy Matthew Ward. They do a good job covering the scene in Philadelphia. So check out Luis Cortez on the Weigh-In podcast. What's next for King's Promotions? See my good friend Brian Cohen. What's up with the what's up, Brian? King's Promotions has a good card coming next Friday night at the 2300 Arena. The main event, Brandon Robinson, a rising super middleweight contender, taking on Calvin Henderson, who's an undefeated kid from Arkansas. But he's coming to fight. I've talked with Calvin's manager, Shane Shapiro. This is an opportunity they're relishing to walk into the backyard of Brandon Robinson and making a big statement and getting his name on the map. So we'll see that fight next Friday night, the 2300 in Philadelphia. 6'7", 212 pounds. That's Jim Kurtz talking about Deontay Wilder's weight yesterday. He's like a small forward, old school small forward. Jose Ribalta, former heavyweight contender, joining us. Deontay will win in 5 rounds or it'll be a draw. So there's no middle ground for Jose Ribalta for the fight tonight. Jamal Davis, I like the fights. I was in camp in Big Bear and Tyson Fury was there. I think he might pull a late round win. It's very possible. I mean, Jamal Davis, who are you in camp with out there in Big Bear? Any basketball questions, Jay Gunn? Lay them on. Deontay Wilder in 5 or a draw, a kind of consensus feeling. So Jim is going with Jose Ribalta here. So yeah, I mean, in basketball, I know Jay Gunn, he likes his Knicks. Sixers blew out the Knicks earlier this week, but we won't really talk much about that. So but this is good. We get some good dialogue going here today about I don't know if anyone has any questions about the big college football playoffs potentially going on. It's a big deal, especially Georgia and Texas Oklahoma and Texas now battling out. I believe it's halftime, and Oklahoma just took the late lead before they went to the half. So we got some people in here. Juan Marshall, big month of boxing for 2018, closing out strong. And not only is it closing out strong, we got tonight's fights. We got 3 straight weeks of boxing in New York with Vasil Lomachenko and Jose Pedraza, and the Canelo Alvarez taking on Rocky Fielding. Then the Charlos will end the year in Brooklyn on the 22nd, fighting Willie Monroe and Tony Harrison, respectively. Then it all kicks off in January again. Manny Pacquiao, Adrian Broner. Any thoughts on that fight? Ryan Balbelius, a good friend from a long time ago. Known Ryan a long time. What's Jimmy Butler's contract status at the end of the season? He's a free agent. But when the trade was made, the stuff that I read and just, was out there, that if everything goes well, and it seems like everything's going smoothly so far, Jimmy Butler is going to stay in Philadelphia. And, ever since the Phillies, the Sixers have gotten Butler, they've taken off, and everyone seems to be on the same page. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are playing a very cohesive kind of basketball, and we'll see. I think Jimmy Butler's here to stay for the 4 or 5 year deal. I guess the Sixers can offer him 5 years at the end of the season. What's happening, Ryan? Everything good? Jamal Davis, Angelo, and a few other. That's who you were in camp with. Oh, Angulo. I think that's you, man. Alfredo Angulo, who's supposed to fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. tonight, but that fight was scrapped. Chavez Jr. They were trying to make that fight. John Lundy, Duke's Promotions, coming to AC January 2019. Well, give me a call if you need some PR. You hit me up on here. Maybe we get a little PR deal going. Jim Kurtz, if Georgia wins and Georgia and Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson. I forgot Clemson. The Clemson game against Pitt tonight. They're about 30-point favorites. My brother Matt. Hey Matt, you got any questions? I'm answering some sports questions. So only 2 of the 5 power conferences will be represented tonight. Jamal Davis supposed to fight December 21st. They didn't get back to us. You're a avoided guy, Jamal. You're a tough out for anyone. Damon Gonzalez out here in LA. I guess you're covering the big fight tonight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Juan Marshall, Sam Cross, and Twan Smith should be a cruiserweight bout tonight. That's I believe that's now the co-feature bout tonight. The main event's Tori Nelson taking on Sanaa Tirnanen in the main event. My brother likes Manny Pacquiao to beat AB. He calls him always broke Adrian Broner. Matty Ice in the house. Ryan and Matt have been friends for 20-something years. So like I said, we're talking the fights here. Anything in the past you want to, or anything coming up in the future. Like my brother just mentioned that Pacquiao's fighting Adrian Broner coming up on January 19th in Las Vegas, which should be an interesting fight. It should be a great promotion. Already has started as a good promotion, so it should be very interesting. So as the queue keeps on getting bigger, just taking all your sports questions. Like I said, we're watching a little Oklahoma and Texas, Northwestern Ohio State tonight. Alabama taking on Georgia. So a lot going on in the world of sports tonight. Obviously, we saw the terrible situation with Kareem Hunt. With that video coming out, which is tough. Obviously it's a terrible situation that went on, and Kareem Hunt really did a disservice to his team with heading towards a possible Super Bowl, and he's one of the main cogs, along with Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, that made up and Kelsey, that made up a real big four in their offense. And they may be in a little bit of trouble. You got teams like Pittsburgh are on the come. You got to like where they're at now in the AFC. Jamal Davis, he likes Pac's going to win that fight. One of my co-workers said he wins in 5. It's possible. I mean, think about Adrian Broner. He's beaten a lot of pretty good fighters, but he hasn't beaten that A-level guy when he's had that chance. Sean Porter and even Jesse Vargas, he got the draw, and Maidana, he hasn't been able to get over that hump in those couple of fights. So this opportunity is huge. Has a lot of implications because we're reading now, if Pacquiao wins, he may fight Spence, he may fight Mayweather, so that's a huge money opportunity for him. If Broner wins, that's a huge opportunity for him as well. As we will look forward to that fight on January 19th. Well, we'll stay here a couple more minutes, see if we got any more questions in here to talk a little bit of sports. Any college football, any basketball, NBA. The college season's kicked off. Everyone's talking about Duke and Zion Williamson. Got the big fights tonight. Baseball free agency's kicking off. Rumors that the Phillies may be going after both Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. I went Bryce Harper 11-1 with his college football picks last week on game day. So if he does make as a baseball player, we may have to solicit him for his picks. So, got some... any more questions out there? I'm going to do this from time to time, and I got some special boxing projects in the works that we're going to do on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. I think Bryce Harper, I think he may go to the Phillies, especially if Corbin, who just visited the Phillies, if he winds up with the Yankees, I can see the Phillies then having the money to spend for I think the Phillies are going to spend on two big free agents this year. Corbin may have been one of them, but if he goes to the Yankees and he's from New York, then it could be Harper and Machado for the Phillies. Jose Rebalta, I asked if they let me work with Fury, but they did not answer him back. So if Fury gets knocked out, they're going to regret that I was not in the Fury camp. Jose Rebalta, who's fought a lot of the big heavyweights back in his day, in the 80s and 90s. It was good heavyweight. John Rigosa, what did you think about Golden Boy Promotions jumping MMA? Well, I mean, they've proven to be good promoters over since their inception, the past 15 years or so. They start off with the Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz fight. I don't know if that's the fight I would have gone with, but their promotion. I mean, their numbers and records speak for itself. So it's possible, that they could be, with the UFC and Bellator, maybe a third big promotion in the United States. And it's a growing process. So they started their first one, and we'll see where they go from there. So it's very well possible. But they've promoted some of the biggest fights out there with some of the great fighters that they've had, great boxers they've had over the year. So it's possible that they could become a player in the mixed martial arts world. So, we're closing on 22 minutes. I was trying to make it to 30, so give me some questions. Give me some questions for the last 7 minutes. Got some people in the queue watching. Lou Ferry, what's up, Lou, from hanging in from Florida. Lou, you got any sports questions, any baseball questions, boxing, basketball? Lou's a friend of mine going back 30 years, so big sports fan, big Mets fan. How do you like the trade that the Mets are about to make? Jay Gon, I'm picking Wilder to win a decision. I haven't seen too many of that. I haven't seen too many Wilder by decisions. Most people think it's either me Fury boxing and moving and outpointing Wilder, or Wilder scoring a big knockout sometime before, maybe, a lot of people have said 8, 9, 10. I've seen 5 and 6. So sometime over the first, I guess, 3/4 of the fight, we'll say that's been the consensus. So I can see a good fight tonight in Los Angeles. Lou Ferry, do you think the heavyweight division will ever come back? Well, I think it is back, because we got a big fight tonight. And then the elephant in the room is Anthony Joshua over in England, who sells 90,000 tickets and has yet to make his U.S. debut. So we got 3 real top heavyweights. Hopefully we can get some kind of round robin thing going. But there's some other guys, some other solid contenders out there. Brian Jennings has been making some noise over the last year. He's got back with a couple big wins. There's some other heavyweight contenders out there. Joe Joyce fighting on the undercard tonight. Luis Ortiz, should he get past Travis Kaufman, and that's a big if, he's right back in the mix. So there's going to be some good spots. Hey, Travis Kaufman wins. He's right in the middle of the heavyweight division as well. Matthew Abrams says Wilder in 2. It's possible. Well, Jose Rebalta, thank you. It says I'm pretty good. So we have your own TV show pretty soon. Hey, I'm trying to get out there. I'm trying to get out there. So, if you know anyone down where you're at who's looking for some TV work, send them my way. So, but yeah, I appreciate the kind words. And like I said, we're going to do this from time to time. Maybe before a lot of the big fights, maybe weekly. I'm going to try to have some guests on, some live guests in with me wherever I'm at. Right now, I'm in a hotel room in Washington, D.C. Big Baby Miller, good point, Juan Marshall. I forgot about him. He's another guy. So we're looking at like maybe 6 or 7 guys out there, or 6 or 7 spots out there where we're looking at interesting fights. Going back to Lou's question about the heavyweight division, and obviously there's guys on the come up. There's Joe Joyce fighting tonight. There's a guy in Germany named Hergovich who's fighting in a week or so. So and I forgot Dillian White is fighting Derek Chisora. So the heavyweight division, there are definitely some interesting matchups. And now is the case of just getting these guys more known, more out there. Dillian White, he had Anthony Joshua on the ropes a couple years ago. So he definitely has proved he can compete with anyone in the heavyweight division. So yeah, Lou said he asked me this same question 20 years ago. But I actually think it's on the upswing. And now with all the great platforms doing boxing, ESPN Plus and DAZN and Fox and Showtime and Facebook Live. I mean, there's definitely a outlet now for a lot of these fighters to be known, especially the fighters overseas. Like I said, ESPN Plus is doing the fights with Frank Warren, so his fights are going to be exposed in the United States. Matchroom with the DAZN deal, their fighters are going to be exposed. Now yesterday they did a card on DAZN from Italy, so. Excuse me. So there's definitely an opportunity for a lot of these fighters, whether it's heavyweights or lower, are going to get some great exposure now in the United States on these different platforms. Lou Ferry, I'm just wondering if it will translate to the U.S. like the days of Holyfield and Bowe. Well, I think Tyson Fury, if he can win tonight, definitely will. Anthony Joshua is close to being kind of like having his popularity translating over to the United States. If you're talking about, boxing being that sport where, in the days of Jose Ribalta, when he was fighting, we was on ABC and CBS and NBC every Saturday afternoon, it's possible, because I think this world it's a copycat world. So if something gets hot, like boxing, all the networks will pick up on it, and there's definitely a nice groundswell for the sport now. Juan Marshall, happy. How about the light heavyweight Dimitri Bivol? He looks very talented. Yeah, I was actually at the fight last week. Very systematic job in beating John Pascal. Probably didn't look the best he's looked, but he's an extremely talented fighter. Like we mentioned earlier in the stream here, Bivol, you got Eleider Alvarez taking on Sergey Kovalev again. And then tonight there's a big light heavyweight fight that's going very under the radar because of all the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder talk between Alexander Gvozdyk and, Adonis Stevenson. And that's going to be a heck of a fight. I like Gvozdyk, and so you got Gvozdyk and Stevenson, you got Alvarez and Kovalev, you got Bivol, you got some other contenders coming up. A guy was supposed to fight on the card tonight in LA, but his fight, they couldn't find an opponent. A kid named Anthony Yard, who's a real good prospect out of England. So there's, you got Callum Smith, there's the 168-pound champion, who's made some noise saying that if the right fight, he would go up to 175 pounds and fight one of these guys. So should be very interesting. John David Lyons, never thought I would see HBO get out of the fight game. Well, yeah, it's very weird. So I mean, the December 9th, I'm cut my HBO off, so don't tell nobody that. So, but yeah, it's the landscape is changing. But I'm glad to see. I mean, Showtime is still running strong with what they're doing, and like we mentioned, DAZN and ESPN Plus and Fox, and there's gonna be some other things. Fight Night Live is in the mix, and there's some other entities that I know are going to get into boxing. So there's going to be a ton of boxing on for everyone's viewing pleasure. Juan Marshall, I'm recording the Stevenson fight so I can watch it when I get home. Well, don't sit next to me tonight because I'll probably be watching it from my computer because Showtime's doing a stream of it on their social media platform. So I'll make sure you're not sitting next to me tonight at the fights tonight, because I know you're coming down to the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington, D.C. For the big fights tonight. Tori Nelson, some good prospects, Sam Cross, Antonio Magruder, a few other, Keontae Irving, who's a good fighter from Beaver Falls, PA, will be on the card. So any last questions here? Because we're about to sign off. John David Lyons, I think streaming is changing everything. Yeah, it definitely is. It's a whole new world. It's not about streaming is the wave of the future. Streaming is the wave of now. Yeah, I watch all the fights on DAZN and ESPN Plus, and it's a great bang for your buck. You know, ESPN Plus or DAZN for a total of $15 a month. You're gonna get 7-8 fight nights of full cards. Although I wasn't able to get up at 3:30 in the morning yesterday to watch Jeff Horn's 90-second knockout over Anthony Mundine yesterday. Well, Showtime makes some more of their championship bouts pay-per-view. Well, the big ones they have to. The reason why they have to do it tonight is because of the purses. They just simply can't. It's just not in their budget to pay. Wilder and Fury are on the books for about $8 or $9 million plus pay-per-view revenue. So that you can't do that. Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence, these are two guys who command a lot of money. So that's why that fight goes to pay-per-view. Pacquiao, of course, still commands these big paydays, and Broner, commands a big payday. So when you get, I don't mind if you get the pay-per-view, if you get those compelling matchups where the certain guys you gotta who have earned the right to command those type of purses, and that's why these fights go to pay-per-view. So John David Lyons, I think even small promoters have the opportunity to get their shows on larger market now. Good for the fighters too. Yeah, I mean that's Fight Night Live has been doing that over the past year plus. So they're doing another fight tonight from San Antonio with Roy Jones Jr. Promotions. So tonight that's a perfect case example. The show that I'm at, they're going to be screaming the first couple cards live on their Facebook page. Juan can help me. Mountaineer Sports, I believe it's called. Jesse Allen Gomez, Wilder $4 million, Fury $3 million. So there you go. You got $7 million, which is above budgets for a single night of boxing. Plus you got paid the undercard. I read where Jared Hurd's making $1 million, the DC guy who's a Maryland guy who's from this area where I'm sitting at today. So. So that's about it. Anything else before we go once? I appreciate everyone getting in tonight. Like I said, we're going to do this periodically, probably more than periodically. We're going to do this from different events and different venues throughout the country, probably throughout the world. And, we got just so a real good heavyweight just came in the room. Gerald the Jedi Noble. Gerald, who do you like in the heavyweight fight tonight? Gerald was a quality fighter back in the day, back in the mid 2000s. Can really punch. Blake Mansfield, seeing him fight. King's Promotions in the house. So it's good. We got a good mix of guy. You'll get the updates when I'm going to be doing this. This era of boxing giving young fighter a faster opportunity to be seen earlier in their careers. That is definitely for sure. So anything else we got going on here? I'll go 2 more minutes. We'll go to 2:15 Eastern. So if anyone else has any questions as the second half of Oklahoma and Texas kicks off right above me, and this is in a pretty good game with a lot of implications. I think Oklahoma is going to have to really start to open up if they want to get in that playoff situation, the top 4. So any basketball, any football, any baseball, any hockey, MMA. We'll talk about all. And like I said, I'm going to have some guests in my travels, and we're going to do this. And Just want to take time to thank everyone for coming out for the last 30 or so minutes to join us in this chat, and we'll talk again soon.